Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DreamHack Open 2015 Stockholm. We've had a great weekend so far. We had a great first day. Today, we crown a champion who will earn their share of WCS points and $25,000 competing here in Stockholm, Sweden. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nathanius. We are going to be kicking off and crowning a champion today here at day 2 in Stockholm. Before we get underway, I do want to take this opportunity to thank our awesome sponsors, whom without we would not have that $25,000 prize pool, and all these players here competing for glory and cash. Those sponsors being ISO, Razer, Intel, and Monster Energy. I'm joined here on the desk by Rotterdam, Apollo, and Todd. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great, Nathanius. This is what comes to mind every time. I don't know what's going on here with the sleeves, but I'm not quite liking it that much, guys.
How do you like Todd's sleeve game, Roddy?
It's all right. Todd can pull it off, you know. He's been going to the gym a little bit lately, and maybe that's why. Like, this makes his bicep pop a little further. Overall, Nate, I'm very excited for today as well. Yesterday, I think we had a lot of fun in the studio. Perhaps some moments a little too much fun. Today, of course, we're going to pay a lot of more attention to the games. As we're getting closer and closer towards the end, all best of 5s as well. I'm so happy about that.
That's right. Sean, any words before you take a look at the schedule?
Well, I'm really looking forward to today. I think today is going to be a great day. We have some awesome matches ahead of it. And of course, at the end of the night, hopefully we can take Roddy to the club, is what I'm most excited for.
That didn't take long.
No.
I had to jump in straight away. I think it's going to be a great
I
day.
had forgot about it, actually.
Don't worry. We'll
Roddy?
have lots of opportunities to talk about Roddy in the club. But for now, let's take a look at the schedule for the day. We have a lot of StarCraft ahead of us. There's so much to be played, as you said, all going to be best of 5s. We're going to be going all the way through to the grand finals. We're going to start things off with Hyun against Rain. Which match are you guys looking forward to the most today? From the first four.
I kind of like all of them, to be honest. They all have a little side story. Like, Lenog Reality is the one that I have the least personal connection with. But then again, Reality is the last Terran standing, so that makes that match very interesting. SOS vs. Curious is, needless to say, a phenomenal match. You know, SOS is one of the hottest players on Earth right now. How can you not be excited to see the last remaining foreigner, Snoot, go up against Solar? And then, of course, Sean vs. Rain. Well, why is that match so important, Sean?
Yeah, I'm really excited for Hyun versus Rain. The WCS chance that Hyun could play at the global finals is all about today. He has to make it to the finals, and to see if he can do that against Rain, who is already going there, I think it's going to be a great match. But as well as that one, I'm really excited to see Snoop play too.
You know what I really want to see today, though, guys, is Fantasy broing out behind Rain while he's playing against Sean.
No, he's going to hate big time. More than anything, too. Like,
No, he's not going to hate. He's going to cheer for Rain.
Rain?
Positive energy is always better than hate, Todd. I know you don't believe in this philosophy, but it's true.
He's going to hate on the opponents of his teammate rather than try and cheer who he wants to cheer for. It's all about that hate, man.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake here aside from just money, of course, as the last WCS points of the year will be awarded here in this final. Of course, Hyun needs a first place finish to guarantee himself a spot at BlizzCon. If he finishes second place, he'll have to play a tiebreaker match against Fantasy. So Fantasy's basically sitting here looking at the bracket and he's saying, please Rain, just knock Hyun out now. He's basically waiting for Rain to book his ticket to BlizzCon. And we can also take a look at the bracket. We can look at how things went down yesterday. And if you missed any of the results, we can go over some of the more, we could say upsets perhaps that have taken place, guys.
I mean, Sarol winning against Luxury in the first round, I think that was a little bit of an upset. I'm still shocked that Curious was able to defeat the Muslim. Like, I haven't really fully recovered from that upset yet.
Yeah, that was a big one.
I heard there was a little bit of build order luck involved, though.
Definitely a bit of build order luck.
If it weren't for that,
lucky.
If it weren't for that, I think Muslim definitely has a really
Dark
good chance.
stands out. I can't believe Dark lost there. I mean, no disrespect to Lenok. Lenok's a fantastic Zerg player, fantastic Zerg versus Zerg player, but Dark traveled to this tournament to qualify for BlizzCon, and he lost, unfortunately, versus Lenok, so that's a bit of an upset there.
And maybe the surprise, or the result is not that surprising between Reality and Jaedong, but the way that those games went, I was surprised, though. Like, Reality just with a very quick, clean 2-0, where Jaedong just didn't really have things going for himself ever. In game number 1, I felt everything was going the way that Jaedong hoped it would go, and his strategy still wasn't good enough, and in game number 2, he just didn't scout for Hellbats, and he just straight up died. Like, I was shocked to see Reality 2-0 Jaedong in such convincing fashion.
I think a great series yesterday, despite the result, was Hearthstone versus SOS too, right? I mean, you guys cast that, and I watched it. Me and Nate were glued to the screen watching it. It was a fantastic series, unfortunately.
It was very intense and entertaining. Hyun Fantasy, though, I feel like I didn't expect this result, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's really easy to overlook Hyun and be like, well, you know, it's maybe done. He's a little bit old.
You always want to count him out, don't you?
Yeah, like, I don't always want to count him out, but I feel like it's very easy to, just because like you don't see him as often as we used to back when he lived in Europe, and then when he comes to a tournament like this, you're like, well, I guess Fantasy is just gonna bop him, right? But no, Hyun actually, he even in the first game in particular, he impressed me a lot, you know, taking to the later stages of the game. So it's gonna be cool to see. He already surprised me yesterday against Fantasy. Can he surprise again against Rain?
Yeah, I think one of the more interesting stories, of course, that taken place as we've moved through this bracket. We talked about Hyun, of course. He needs to win it all to guarantee himself a berth at BlizzCon, second place for that tiebreaker. But the dreams of some other players have also been moved around or crushed this weekend. Dark being shut out now, and Fantasy with things in limbo. But SOS guaranteed himself yesterday based off of those results. He'll 100% be going to BlizzCon. Almost nothing that could really change that.
He can still go up in seedings, though, and face somebody else than who he's facing right now, which I wonder if he looks into that too much.
I don't know. It's the players at the top of the ranking are so high skilled that, to be honest, I don't think it really. Maybe there's a slight preference in which matchup it is, but depending on which player, you can hardly choose, right?
They're all really difficult.
Hero, life.
It's really funny though, because if you compare it to last year, I felt most of the top Koreans, people like SOS that we got here today, were kind of hoping to finish like 15, 14, because that meant that you would have gone up against Sean, Bomber, and you know, in all regards and all respect to those guys, you know, the Koreans that were actually participating in Korea looked at it as like, well, please give us those guys. You know, they haven't played in the GSL or Pro League all year long. But this year, that's not the case, because now at the top of the ranking, you do have CGen's Hero, Live, and Maru and stuff. So.
Parting's close up there too. It's a great set of players.
Yeah, definitely seems like the top 16 this year has scaled itself a lot better with who we usually say would be the strongest players. So qualifying for BlizzCon here for Hyun would still make, you know, doesn't make anything easier. He has a long, difficult road ahead of him, and likewise would Fantasy if you move forward. Is there a player here that we haven't given enough consideration towards, though?
Curious probably is the person we've talked about the least. He's the reigning DreamHack champion. Every time we look at the series, it's like, yeah, he could do that, and then we kind of just move on. He's going up against SOS, and I think we're kind of not talking about him again because everyone's expecting SOS to continue his good run. But Curious, you know, won last time. He's top 8 here. He could beat SOS here and then go through to the semifinals, and then I suppose we'll start talking about him, so we might as well do it now.
No, it would certainly be an interesting result, and I'll pick your brain more on this later, guys, as we are going to go over to the main stage. We're going to see what's going on with In Control. What's up, Jeff?
Well, thank you, Nathanius. I am excited. We have amazing games today. We're going to have a very entertaining cast as well. Hopefully you guys are excited as well. But we have a little thing that we like to talk about here. It's called the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Final 8 show.
Realizing he's in trouble. Some great fumbles going down. The Ultra's closing oh so quickly. Roach and Hydra all over the place.
Big play coming out from 4GG. He runs straight past that tree, goes straight for the Roaches here. What a move, what a build, what a strategy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DreamHack Stockholm, the Final 8 show. We're going to crown a champion here today, and I cannot wait. We've had amazing games. We're only going to have some more. But last, we have to actually welcome these players on stage. So put your hands together. If you're at home, you can do it too. Join us online and welcome the Final 8 players.
We've got 8 of the best looking to tie off their storylines, play some great games, win some money, the usual stuff here in StarCraft. I'm going to ask you guys a couple of quick questions. We do have Hyun versus Rain first. So I'm going to ask you, Hyun. Hyun, you're in pursuit of BlizzCon, WCS. It's very close to you. What would going to BlizzCon mean for you?
일단 제가 게이머로서 블리즈컨 올해 마지막일 거라고 생각을 하기 때문에 꼭 가고 싶어요. 그 정도로 좀 절실해요.
So I'm considering for this year. This is my last tournament, so I would very much love to go to BlizzCon.
All right, one more tournament, the big one, if you can do it. Rain, a lot of people think of you as the best player in this tournament. Do you have that expectation for yourself, or do you see yourself somewhere else?
근데 제가 요새 좀 연습을 안 해가지고 자신감은 없는데 그냥 그동안 해왔던 걸로 이겨보려고요.
Yeah, so I haven't practiced as much as before, so I feel a little, my confidence is not as good, but I have a legacy, I have practiced a lot before, so I'm trying to win through that.
Okay, all right, this is going to be an amazing match. Guys, go ahead and